Hello, Statesman Nation. I'm Jared Goodman, joined by head men's volleyball coach Luke Bentley. Luke, thank you for taking the time out to come chat with us a little bit and preview your season. But before we do that, let's kind of back it up. What has this whole process been like from day one of you getting the job, first ever men's volleyball coach? Just kind of walk through that process and what the last, up until now, what has that been like?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's been a great process as far as we've gotten to where we are now. So things went well. We fielded a team, all those questions that were unanswered in the beginning. So that's been great. But yeah, we started, pretty much May of 2018 and started recruiting and did about, 14 months of recruiting and then got guys on campus this fall. And right now we're rolling with 15 guys going in next week. So a full roster for us, loaded with freshmen and a few sophomores. And yeah, it's been a whirlwind of recruiting and getting to know what it's like to be at William Penn and be head coach in the conference and just all the new stuff that comes with it. But it's been great, and we're finally here, and we can't believe it, a week away. So we're ready to get going.
So you mentioned recruiting a little bit. Talked about you brought in a lot of freshmen, a couple sophomores. In particular, what kind of guys were you going after? What was the plan for the first recruiting class in men's volleyball history?
Yeah, I think at first we wanted to identify, what kind of player we want, and I think that came pretty easily. Having coached in the conference prior to William Penn, I kind of knew what we were looking for as far as how to compete in our conference and what would make us competitive. So had an idea about that, and then as far as the rest of it goes, just trying to identify where we wanted to go recruit, and then find those guys we thought fit into our culture. Maybe we'll talk about that in a little bit as far as, wanting guys where we feel like they're going to be good teammates, they're going to be good people, they're going to come in and help us off the court and really fit into what William Penn has, with our diversity and our student experience and everything that the university kind of preaches and is all about. We wanted kids that fit into that. And I think that's probably safe to say for most sports here is that if you're getting kids to come from California or Florida or wherever, like they're probably coming for the right reasons because they want to be a part of William Penn. And it's kind of the same for us. So we're just trying to find those guys, and we feel like we got 15 guys that really fit into what we're doing here. Mm-hmm. And so that really worked out. And like I said, we got some guys that we think can play at this level. So that was kind of it. But it was, a lot of traveling and flying and just trying to find those guys. And we're a mixed bag from, like I said, from California to Texas to Florida to the Midwest and to Brazil, so all over the place. Yeah, everything worked out really well, and we got the guys that we want. So we're in a good spot.
Right on. Let's talk about the sport a little bit. Men's volleyball, new. It's a very popular or growing sport in the nation, in the college level. What are some differences between the men's game and the women's game that we can expect to see here in 2020?
Yeah, I think anyone that comes out next week, a week from today, in the pack to watch us play is going to see a lot of exciting things going on. So the ball is moving faster. It's probably going a little bit higher as far as we're playing higher off the net. But guys are swinging hard, and so it's a lot of offense. You're going to see a lot of offense, a lot of kills, a lot of aces on the service line, a lot of big blocks. I mean, you're going to see a lot of the same stuff you see in the women's game, just maybe at a higher level as far as, faster and stronger, which makes sense, I guess. But besides that, really, it's a lot of the same stuff. Volleyball is the same. A lot of it stays the same. The net is a little higher, but besides that, I think you're going to see volleyball. So which is great because as a sport in general, it's exciting. I think anyone that watched our women play in the fall saw some exciting volleyball, and I think hopefully we'll continue that this spring. So nothing too crazy, but yeah, you'll see some differences for sure.
Yeah, you have a personal motto or something that you live by. You call it wake. Yep. Can you explain that to the Statesman Nation for a little bit?
So if anyone's seen any of our stuff on Twitter or Instagram, we hashtag it sometimes, and a lot of people maybe have seen it but don't know what it is. So what we kind of live by is we take the idea of what the boat in a water kind of creates that wake behind it, which hopefully everyone knows what that means. And we think about that and how do we take that and apply it to the relationships in our lives. And so what I mean by that is, every wake is different depending on the size of the boat, how fast you're going, etc. And same thing in our relationships. Everyone's different, and every interaction or impression we leave is different. We just want to leave positive wakes. So the stuff that we leave behind us, so the impressions that we make, what are they going to say about us when we're gone? And that's kind of our motto is, what kind of impression are we leaving here at William Penn? And what can we do as men's volleyball players to leave positive impressions, or we say positive wakes, in the people in our lives.
Is it fair to say their team's kind of bought into that culture, kind of bought into that mindset a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. The guys have done a really nice job of kind of buying into everything we've done so far, including that philosophy and including what we're trying to do on the court. Like I said, that was part of the recruiting process, is finding guys that we thought would fit into our culture. But yeah, it's worked out pretty well, and I think you'll see it grow and grow as the years go on, and hopefully, those men's volleyball players kind of separate ourselves from some other people here and stand out a little bit, and that's kind of our goal.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. Let's break down, position by position, just some guys that you're going to be seeing a lot of, guys competing at certain positions. I know we're still a week away, still sure some decisions having to be made to prepare for that first game. But let's start with the hitters.
Yeah, so kind of going on the front row, we have a handful of guys on the outside, which is probably the biggest depth that we have. So on our left side or outside, we have all freshmen. We have Ike Papes, CJ Reddig, Luke Schubel, Knox Georges, and Mikey Cox. And so kind of been an interesting battle in the fall with those five. So we'll see what happens next week, but all five are getting a lot better. That outside position is probably the most utilized position in volleyball, so they're probably going to get the most swings, and we feel pretty comfortable that we'll probably have two of those guys get a lot of playing time on Tuesday, as far as get a lot of good reps in that area. So that's our outside. Our middle hitters, we're kind of the opposite. We're kind of low in depth there. We only kind of have two at the moment, which is what you play with. So pretty easy there. It's Sean Mason, who's a sophomore transfer, and Eli Hero, and both those guys will look to get some good time in on next Tuesday. And then on the opposite, the right side, we have three guys right now battling for position: Jordan Woods, Carlos Garcia, and Micah Chavez. And it's been fun watching them battle out. All three are lefties, and they should be exciting on the right side. So pretty good mix as far as the front row goes with our hitters. We feel pretty confident in the offense that we'll provide, and we got some size in there too, and some guys that can jump pretty well. So should be exciting. I definitely think people will be impressed with some of the offense that we produced, going forward. So we're excited. We got a good group.
And now moving to the back line.
Yeah, as far as defensively, with our liberos, three guys right now that will possibly don the libero jersey: Pedro Maciel, who's one of our guys from Brazil, and then Andrew Padilla and Chris Freer. And all three of them, once again, have been working their butts off so far this fall into the spring. We feel really good about that position. We have a lot of depth there, and all three of them do a really good job for us. And then I'll maybe jump ahead for you. Our last one is just our setters. Two guys right now that are battling that position out: Matt Helmick and Connor Muff. And Connor transferred in at the semester here. He's a sophomore, and so it's been fun watching them the last week or so, and it's been fun watching our guys get some good connections with them and kind of figure out what's going to work. But yeah, it's been a great process trying to feel out what we got going on. The best part about having all freshmen is that everyone's kind of on the same page. So position by position, they're all kind of doing the same stuff. And so it's been fun seeing them compete, and I think, like I said, a week from today, you'll see some guys out there that are going to work really hard, and so I think we'll get a good starting group out there and see what happens.
Yeah, a week from today, you guys will be hosting the first ever men's volleyball game inside the PAC here.
Yep.
Let's kind of just go over the schedule real quick. You open up with that. What do you expect to see in Heart Play, and where do you see you guys finishing in Heart Play?
So kind of like the rest of our sports here, as far as with the conference, it's tough. So coming in and opening up with a conference match next week is going to be a tough start. So we open up with Clark, and we go on to play Culver 2 days after that, and it just doesn't get any easier. So conference is a grind, just like everyone else. Grandview is the defending champion in the conference. They won the national championship 2 years ago, so they're obviously kind of the team to beat. Missouri Valley and Mount Mercy are up there as well. Mount Mercy finished number 9 in the country last year. So yeah, it's going to be, like I said, a grind going through the schedule this year. We expect to compete. We expect to be in every match. Hard to say, just because we haven't played anyone yet, so it's really hard to put numbers on it. But I fully think that we have a good shot at being competitive this year. With the conference tournament's 4 teams, so out of the 7, the top 4 make it, and so that's probably a good goal to start out with, is to see what we can do and finish top 4.
Yeah, absolutely. And then non-conference wise, do you guys have any tournaments planned and times between conference play?
Yeah, we got a couple good ones coming up. So we end up going up to Dort next week, and I'm sorry, the following week after that, and then we host what we call a quad, so a 4-team tournament. So three other universities and us, early February, the weekend of February 7th and 8th, which will be fun. It's Indiana Tech, Jamestown, and Viterbo coming down here. So that'll be kind of a cool non-conference weekend for us. And then, sprinkled in here and there, we end up going to Chicago to play Trinity Christian. We go down to St. Louis to play St. Louis College of Pharmacy. Head up to Jamestown to play them a second time in North Dakota. So some nice trips. But yeah, we expect non-conference to be another good test for us. And more importantly, just getting some good experience with our guys, getting to see some different teams in some different arenas and stuff like that. So really, I mean, you're playing for conference. Conference gets us into the national tournament to get an automatic qualifier. So yeah, I think our non-conference will prepare us a little bit for that. But yeah, conference will be interesting, and we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, and also being that your team is very young, getting them experience out on the road, learning how to play on the road, it's a different beast than playing at home. You're on a bus, you get off the bus, you're going to play, or you're staying the night somewhere. You're not sleeping in your own bed. Just all that good stuff is good experience.
Yeah, and that's also a lot of it. Everything this year is going to be a first for us. So just getting in and doing a lot of the stuff, it will be a first for everyone. So it's going to be a learning year for sure. But it's going to be a fun year. We're really excited about it, and the guys are super excited about it too. So yeah, can't stress enough to come check us out next week in the Pack. I think it's going to be not only a new experience for us, but a new experience for everyone here.
Yeah, and real quick, before I forget, those that aren't familiar, you have a couple coaches that are helping you out this year that if you want to give them a little shout or give Statesman Nation a little rundown on them.
Yeah, so our graduate assistant is Eddie Alaman, who hails from Chicago and played volleyball at Adrian College in Adrian, Michigan. Eddie's been a great addition to our staff and has come in with some really high energy and has a really good relationship with our guys. And so he's been phenomenal, and we'll continue to utilize him and everything he brings. And then kind of have a great situation here. We have a volunteer assistant in Steven Satz, who's in his 2nd year as a graduate assistant with athletic ops, and Steven's done a phenomenal job with us as well. So he's as close to being full-time with us as he can. He's obviously doing kind of dual duties here, but he's with us as much as possible, so you'll see him on the sidelines too. But both guys bring a lot of energy, positive leaders for us, and do a really good job. So yeah, very blessed to have 2 great assistants moving into our season, and yeah, I mean, they've done a lot of good stuff for us.
Awesome. Well, Coach, best of luck this season. 7 p.m. next Tuesday in the Pack against Clark. Let's try to get as many people out there as possible. It's a historic event here at William Penn University. Once again, thank you for your time and good luck this season.
Appreciate it. Thanks.